Good morning, family. Welcome to the Afro Latina Show. I am your host, Alicia Anabel-Santos, La Diosa Dominicana, La Santera. Welcome to episode 281, titled Severing Ties with Toxic Femininity. And so I love being home. I'm home. I haven't been home for over a month now, almost a month and a half. And so there's so much I get when I'm home, and it's so interesting that the conversation that is rising for me as I'm sitting in my chair for the first time in over a month is this idea of severing ties and toxic femininity, because they're separate, right? They're separate concepts and they mean different things. And so for this diary, I think it's really important to start off with a definition so we know what it is that I'm feeling in my heart. And so I wrote in my journal this morning that what I want to talk about is toxic femininity as with toxic masculinity is rooted in abuse and power. And so for the purposes of this morning's meditation, I'm defining and using toxic femininity as it relates to women on women violence and abuse and power. And how this is rooted in patriarchy, right? And the ways in which we are conditioned to take on this colonizer mindset of divide and conquer, and this idea of, taking down anyone who stands in our way. So today, my meditation is about abusing power on social media, cyberbullying, women who shame women, women who judge women, women who attack women, and how we harm one another as women. Because I'm not going to sit here and say that women aren't doing this. Like this idea that, women compete against one another, believing that this doesn't exist. No, women do. I believe they do. I believe that it's rooted in patriarchy. Absolutely. And so that's deconstructing that concept is not for this morning's meditation. That's not what we're doing this morning, because that is for a longer dialogue, a longer conversation that I absolutely will be organizing a panel discussion on toxic femininity and sisterhood. So look out for that, because that's happening in the fall. One of the things that I was thinking about that is that even those of us within this community, within this space of trying to evolve, even the most enlightened of us can be shady as fuck. I want to open with that. So toxic femininity and abusing power. And why did I title today's diary Severing Ties? All of this relates. This week, I severed a relationship that has been beautiful and painful all at the same time, with a woman that I respect, love, and admire. Without getting into the details of it, the toxicity of our relationship could no longer be denied. And so you get to a point in your life where you have decisions to make about who it is that you are surrounding yourself with. And so to me, this idea of toxic femininity is, how are we using our power? And is it toxic? For me, toxic femininity and toxic masculinity are very much connected. They're very much connected. They're a force that, just the word toxic is poisonous. And so I'm not going to sit here and pretend like women aren't guilty of being toxic, that we are not guilty of being toxic toward one another. Shit, I'm not going to sit here and say that I haven't been toxic. because that would be a fucking lie. And that's not what we're doing. That's not what we're doing when we're meditating and we're trying to cleanse ourselves. We're trying to cleanse ourselves of the shit that keeps us in unhealthy relationships, making poor choices, not taking care of our bodies, dishonoring who we are. That's not what we're doing when we're trying to elevate, when we're trying to grow, when we're trying to learn some new ways of doing shit, when we're trying to heal the trauma, the generational trauma, right, of the things that we're carrying. And so for me, today, the diary about severing ties is that what is at the root of toxic femininity as it relates to me this morning is that I am looking at how some of my relationships with women has been toxic and making a choice about how I want to relate to that or not. And I don't want to relate to it. I don't want to relate to it. I don't want to surround myself by it. And I don't want to be a part of the like mean girl clique, you know, where you're airing all of your personal business on social media so that you could have people chiming in and kind of rooting you on and taking sides. I'm not in high school. I'm almost 50. I'm not fucking with that. That's not the energy I want to put out in the world. Like, so what do we do with that? What do we do when we feel like a relationship has run its course? What do we do when we see that something is no longer good for us, where we are not benefiting at all from a particular thing? You sever it. You end it. You end it. It is not easy. It sounds easy coming out of my mouth, but if it is poisonous for your body and unhealthy, and it affects your spirit and your soul and your mind and your thoughts, you must sever it because it'll kill us. It'll kill us. And what I am hoping for and praying for is just a more peaceful life and being surrounded by people who feed me and fuel me. I have no interest in being around people who want to drag me down, want to blame me for all the fucked up things that happen in their life. I'm not trying to own other people's trauma as my own. I got my own shit to worry about. Sorry, not sorry. We all have our own shit to worry about, man. So let's meditate. Let's meditate on this idea of severing ties that are not serving us in healthy ways. Sit comfortably. Let's inhale. Exhale. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale. Exhale. Breathe normally. Just breathe. Just breathe. Just breathe normally. Breathe naturally. Sit calmly. What ties do you know must be severed? What ties do you know must be severed? Who in your life is just negative, not adding value, makes you feel bad about yourself, shames you, judges you, criticizes you, triggers you. Why are you afraid to sever that relationship? What do you think will happen if you sever that relationship? Do you believe that people will take sides? Do you believe that you will somehow lose something? Because we will lose something, right? Especially when we love someone. What do we need? Why is it important for us to sever that relationship, to sever that tie, to cut that tie once and for all? What will we gain by severing that tie? Pause this meditation at any moment so you can reflect, journal, sit with these questions, really hear the answers in your heart, in your spirit. This idea of severing ties, what does that even mean to you? Why do you know you must do it? And when you're ready, only when you're ready, come out of meditation. Why did I know that I must sever the tie with this one woman in particular? Because there wasn't trust there. There wasn't, there was dishonor there. There wasn't loyalty. And there wasn't honesty. And there wasn't respect. And that for me, in any relationship, is the life force, the blood force. That's what connects me to all of the people that I love. And if those things are gone, it must be severed. And so I can send that person love, and I do. I send that person love, healing energy. I wish that person goodness and a happy life. But I can't do toxic relationships. I cannot do abuses of power. I will never tolerate it. I will never accept it. What I am more interested in is this idea of African womanism, this idea of sisterhood, of what happens in the red tent, this idea of womb work, woman work, this idea of you are my sister, and I have your back. And I only want to fuck with people who feel the same way. That's just the truth of it. And so we have to take inventory. Who are the people that we call sister, right? I'm wishing you an amazing day. You know the drill. If you like what you hear, subscribe to my YouTube, like, comment, retweet, repost, share with everyone. Let's open this dialogue up. Follow me on Instagram, La Santera and Afro Latina Show, and I am Diosa Dominicana on Twitter and Tumblr. My intention for today is to work on ways of moving in the world with the idea of true sisterhood, love, and honor. Have an amazing day, yo. Peace.